Seattle, December 28, 2025. Rain falls in sheets so thick it feels personal. Dr. Elena Vasquez sits alone in her 12th floor apartment on Elliott Bay, staring at the black water beyond the window. The city lights smear into watery halos. She hasn't slept properly in 11 weeks. She keeps replaying the moment the core sample came up. October 17th, Triton 7 platform, 187 miles offshore. The drill string whined like a creature in pain as it broke through the final layer of shale. The core barrel surfaced slick with gray-black ooze. When the technicians cracked it open under the harsh white lights of the platform lab, everyone went quiet. Embedded in the sediment, like a fossil caught mid-breath, was a shard of something that looked like blackened mother roof pearl the size of a man's forearm. It wasn't rock. It wasn't shell. It pulsed, slow, deliberate, the way a heart beats when someone is trying very hard not to scream. Elena had gloved hands and steady nerves. She lifted it. The instant her fingertips brushed the surface, cold stabbed up her arm and settled behind her eyes. Not pain, recognition. That night the dream started. She is weightless, suspended in perfect dark. No up, no down, no sound except a low bone-deep hum that isn't sound at all, it's pressure. Something enormous is moving just beyond the reach of her vision. She feels it turn toward her the way a predator turns when it realizes the prey has noticed it. Then the first whisper, asterisk, child of dust. Asterisk, she woke gasping, sheets soaked. Certain someone had spoken directly into her ear. The next morning Marco texted her a single photo, the shard inside the vacuum chamber. Overnight it had grown hairline cracks that glowed faint violet. Elena, the text read, it's breathing. She told no one about the dreams. Scientists don't talk about dreams, they talk about data. But the data was turning strange. Fish began dying in perfect spirals miles around the platform. Seabirds plummeted into the water like stones. Rig workers started reporting migraines that made them see extra shadows in corners. One driller, a man named Torres who had worked rigs for 23 years, walked off the helipad at 3:17 a.m. without a word. They found his hard hat floating. Nothing else. Apex Energy issued the standard statement, minor equipment malfunction, no environmental impact. Elena knew better. She drove to the institute at 4 a.m. on October 29th, rain hammering the windshield like fists. In the secure lab, she unsealed the chamber herself. The shard was larger, not by much. Just enough to make denial impossible. Thin, vein-like filaments had spread across its surface. They moved slowly, sinuously, like the legs of a sea spider exploring new territory. When she leaned close, the filaments paused. Then they reached toward the glass. Closer. Something said inside her skull. Not a voice. A suggestion so strong it felt like her own thought. She stumbled backward, knocking over a tray of pipettes. The crash echoed too loudly in the empty lab. That was the night Seattle began to hear it too. First it was only a few people. A barista in Pike Place Market who dropped an entire tray of mugs and stood frozen, head cocked, whispering, "It's calling." A rideshare driver on I-5 who pulled over and began sobbing because he could hear his dead mother singing lullabies through the radio static. A child in Ballard who drew the same picture over and over. A black spiral with eyes at every intersection. By November 15th, the city felt off. Streetlights flickered in patterns that almost made sense. Mirrors showed reflections that moved half a second late. People stopped making eye contact on the sidewalks. Everyone was listening. Alina tried to warn them. She met with Apex executives in their downtown tower. Glass walls, panoramic view of the dying sound. Harlan Thorpe, CEO, leaned back in a leather chair that cost more than most people's cars. Dr. Vasquez, he said, smiling the smile of a man who has never been afraid. You're tired. We all are. Take a week. The board appreciates your dedication. She left the meeting shaking. That evening she called Ryan Hale. They had dated for 2 years, broken up 18 months ago. He was still the only person she trusted to tell her when she was losing her mind. He met her at the old ferry terminal, rain dripping from the brim of his Seahawks cap. He looked older, harder. Tell me, he said.
Tell me.
She did the shard, the dreams, the hum that lived inside her skull now, even when she was awake. Ryan listened without interrupting. When she finished, he stared at the black water a long time. I've got bodies, he said finally. 7 in the last 10 days. All suicides. Except they didn't look like suicides. They looked relieved. Like they finally got what they wanted. He showed her photos on his phone. Faces frozen in expressions of terrible ecstasy. Tongues bitten through. Eyes rolled back to show nothing but white. One victim had carved a single word into his own forearm with a box cutter. Awake. December 1st, the first mass event. A crowd gathered at Alki Beach at dusk. No organizer, no announcement. Just people walking into the water, fully clothed, arms outstretched, smiling. Lifeguards pulled 32 bodies out before nightfall. 31 were already dead. The 32nd opened her eyes underwater, looked at the diver, and smiled wider. That was when Alina decided to go back to the platform. She and Ryan stole a Zodiac from the Institute dock at 2 a.m. on December 12th. The ride out was brutal 20-foot swells, freezing spray. The Triton 7 loomed out of the fog like a condemned building. The platform was deserted. Lights still burned. Coffee cups sat steaming on consoles. Radios hissed open channels. They found the lab. The vacuum chamber was shattered. The shard was gone. In its place lay a perfect circle of black ooze. Still warm, still moving. Ryan swept his flashlight across the floor. Footprints led over bare feet. Too large, too many toes. They followed them. The trail ended at the edge of the helipad. Below, the sea boiled. Not with waves, with shapes. Huge, indistinct forms rose and sank again. Ice dozens, hundreds opened in the water and stared up at them. You came, the whisper said. Good children. Ryan's knees buckled. He dropped the shotgun, clutched his head. Alina, he rasped. It's showing me everything, every failure. Every time I let someone die, Alina felt it too. Her parents' car in the ravine. The sister she never told anyone about. The nights she drank until she forgot her own name. She screamed into the wind. I will not feed you, the sea answered. A single tendril thicker than a subway car exploded upward and wrapped around one of the platform legs. Metal screamed as it bent. They ran. The Zodiac was already sinking when they reached it, pulled under by something that looked like an oil slick with teeth. They barely made it to the lifeboat, David. Behind them, the platform folded in half with a sound like the world breaking. Fire bloomed, fuel lines ruptured. The night turned orange. They drifted in the lifeboat for 6 hours, listening to the thing in the water circle them, patient. When the Coast Guard finally found them at dawn, Ryan was catatonic. Alina was still whispering to herself, not yet. She kept saying, not yet. December 28th, 2025. Today, Alina sits in her apartment, curtains drawn, lights off. The rain has stopped. She can hear the city breathing. Downstairs, a neighbor is crying softly. Across the street, someone is singing in a voice too low and too old for a human throat. On her kitchen table lies the last thing she salvaged from the lifeboat. A small, iridescent fragment, no bigger than a quarter. It pulses in time with her heartbeat. She hasn't touched it. Not yet. But the whisper is patient. It has waited for billion years. A few more days or nothing. Outside, the water laps at the seawall. Soft, insistent. Closer now. She closes her eyes. The fragment glows brighter, and somewhere far below, in the dark that has no name, something enormous opens its countless eyes and smiles. End.
Thanks for watching. If there is anything you would like to see, leave it in the comments. I'll see you next time.
I can't wait.